The aliens examined a human warship. What they discovered shocked them far beyond the crowded trade routes and shining colonies of known space. A human warship drifted slowly through the dark. It moved without broadcasting any strong signals, its engines running at low power, almost like a shadow sliding between stars. Its outer hull carried marks of old battles. Long scratches crossed the metal, and some armor plates looked darker than the rest, as if replaced many times after heavy damage. To most alien sensors, it looked like an outdated vessel, perhaps forgotten by time. The Valeri Union patrol fleet detected it first. Their ships were sleek and bright, shaped with smooth curves and advanced energy fields that glowed softly. Compared to them, the human ship looked rough and heavy. Commander Lyra Voss studied the incoming scans from her command chair. Her sharp eyes moved from one data screen to another while her crew spoke quietly around her. "Unknown vessel detected," said Communications Officer Nina Brooks. "Origin likely human, no aggressive signals." Lyra leaned forward. "No aggressive signals does not mean harmless. Maintain distance. Increase passive scans." The ship appeared alone, which was unusual. Human warships were known for traveling in groups or protecting important trade routes. This one drifted silently, its course steady but slow. Engineer Alex Hayes frowned at the data. "Commander, the structure is strange. The hull density is higher than expected. Armor layers are thick, almost excessive." Lyra nodded slowly. "Humans often build differently than us, but excessive armor suggests fear or experience." After several minutes of careful scanning, a faint transmission arrived. The image flickered before stabilizing. A human man appeared on screen. He had short, dark hair, calm eyes, and a tired expression that suggested long years in space. "This is Captain Ethan Blake of the Liberty Dawn," he said in a steady voice. "We acknowledge your presence. We are on silent patrol and mean no harm." The name of the ship passed through the alien database quickly. There were only small records about it, mostly old reports mentioning survival during dangerous conflicts. Nothing about its current status existed. Lyra crossed her arms. "Captain Blake, your vessel appears damaged and outdated. Explain why you operate alone in this region." Ethan gave a small smile. "Because sometimes being alone is the safest way to travel, and our ship may look old, Commander, but appearances can be misleading." His calm confidence surprised many of the alien officers. Most species reacted nervously when surrounded by Valeri ships. This human spoke as if nothing unusual was happening. The Valeri Council soon sent instructions. They wanted a closer examination. Humans were allies, but also unpredictable. Understanding their technology could be valuable. Lyra opened another channel. "Captain Blake, the Council requests permission for a limited inspection of your vessel." There was a short pause. The human captain glanced to someone off-screen before nodding. "We accept under cooperative terms. Your team will be escorted at all times." Docking procedures began soon after. A small alien shuttle approached the Liberty Dawn carefully. As it moved closer, the inspection team noticed more details. The ship's surface showed layers of repair, some sections reinforced with visible bolts instead of smooth, seamless plates. It looked less like a perfect machine and more like something that had grown stronger through survival. The airlock opened with a heavy sound. Waiting inside was a human officer named Liam Parker. He wore a simple uniform and carried himself with quiet confidence. "Welcome aboard," he said. "Follow me and please stay within marked paths." The alien engineers stepped inside, their eyes moving quickly as they observed everything. The corridors were wide but practical, filled with handrails, ladders, and manual switches. Nothing felt decorative. Every object seemed placed for function. Noah Carter, the lead alien engineer, whispered to Nina, "This design feels old. Where are the advanced control systems?" Liam heard him and gave a small laugh. "They exist. We just believe in backup options." They passed through several sections. Human crew members moved with calm focus, greeting visitors politely, but continuing their work without distraction. The environment felt disciplined but relaxed at the same time. Lyra noticed something unusual. Many systems operated independently. Separate power units supported different areas and emergency equipment was placed everywhere. "Why so many redundancies?" she asked. Liam stopped beside a control panel. "Because space is dangerous. We plan for failure, not perfection." The alien team exchanged looks. Their own ships depended heavily on central systems that rarely failed. The human approach seemed inefficient to them. They reached the bridge. Unlike the smooth, curved designs of alien vessels, this room was filled with multiple consoles, some digital, some mechanical. Physical buttons existed alongside holographic displays. Captain Ethan Blake stood waiting. He greeted them warmly before continuing his duties, showing no sign of worry. "Feel free to scan," he said. "Just avoid restricted areas." Noah began running diagnostic tools. The data quickly filled his screen. "This is unexpected," he muttered. Layers of armor overlapped in unusual ways. Energy conduits branched into independent networks. Even the weapons systems operated through separate control loops. "This ship is built like a fortress," Nina said quietly. Ethan overheard. "Not a fortress, more like a survivor." The inspection continued deeper into the vessel. They discovered training rooms filled with physical equipment. Instead of relying only on simulations, humans practiced manual tasks repeatedly. One alien officer pointed at a wall of old tools. "Why keep such primitive devices?" Liam answered simply. "Because they always work." Hours passed as the team gathered data. Each discovery challenged their assumptions about human engineering. Instead of focusing on speed or elegance, the Liberty Dawn emphasized durability. Lyra studied battle logs shown by Ethan. The records revealed encounters against powerful enemies, situations where the ship lost major systems but continued operating. "Your ship has survived extreme damage," she said slowly. Ethan nodded. "We built her to keep going when things go wrong." As they moved toward another section, warning lights suddenly flashed. A low alarm echoed through the corridors. Hidden doors sealed automatically, and panels shifted into protective positions. Alien officers looked around nervously. "What is happening?" Liam checked a console calmly. "Automatic safety protocol, nothing dangerous." But the aliens felt uneasy. The ship reacted instantly, as if expecting danger at any moment. Noah realized something then. "This vessel behaves like a living creature, always ready to defend itself." Lyra said nothing for a moment. She watched the human crew move without panic, each person performing tasks with practiced ease. There was no confusion, only quiet coordination. For the first time, she wondered if the Velari had misunderstood humanity completely. The Liberty Dawn did not try to impress with beauty or advanced displays. Instead, it carried the feeling of endurance. Every scratch on its hull told a story. Every manual switch showed preparation for failure. As the alarms faded and normal operations resumed, Lyra turned to Ethan. "Captain Blake, I believe this inspection has only raised more questions." Ethan smiled faintly. "That tends to happen when people see human ships up close." Outside the observation window, distant stars shone quietly. The alien fleet waited nearby, still unsure whether the human vessel was outdated or dangerous. Lyra felt a strange sense of respect growing inside her. The more she saw, the more she realized that the Liberty Dawn was not weak or primitive. It was something else entirely, and she was certain that the most surprising discoveries had not yet been revealed. The inspection continued deeper into the Liberty Dawn, and the alien team began to understand that every part of the ship carried a purpose. Nothing felt random or outdated anymore. What once looked old now appeared carefully planned. Commander Lyra Voss walked beside Captain Ethan Blake while the engineers moved ahead, scanning walls and panels with growing curiosity. The corridors changed as they entered lower sections of the ship. The lights were softer here, and the hum of machines echoed through the metal floor. Noah Carter stopped near a large door marked with simple warning signs. "What is behind this?" he asked. Liam Parker stepped forward. "Engineering Support Bay. Some areas are restricted, but we can show you the outer section." The door opened with a heavy sound. Inside, rows of equipment filled the room. Cables ran along the ceiling, and several large machines rotated slowly, creating a steady vibration. Human technicians worked quietly, adjusting parts by hand instead of relying only on automated systems. Nina Brooks watched closely. "You still repair systems manually?" One of the technicians, a woman named Claire Morgan, smiled slightly. "We trust our machines, but we trust people more." This simple statement stayed in Lyra's mind as they moved further. The alien team had always believed that advanced technology should remove the need for manual work. Yet here, humans chose to keep direct control. Noah studied a nearby panel. It showed several backup power lines branching away from the main system. "This is unusual," he said. "You have separate power grids for small sections of the ship." Ethan nodded. "If one area loses power, the rest keeps working. We learned long ago that relying on one system is risky." The alien engineers exchanged thoughtful looks. Their own ships relied heavily on central energy cores. A failure there often meant total shutdown. As they continued, they reached a large training chamber. The walls displayed marks from repeated drills. Holographic projectors stood ready, but physical equipment filled most of the space. Liam explained, "Crew training never stops. We practice damage control, emergency flight, and survival scenarios every week." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "Even during patrol?" "Especially during patrol," Ethan replied. "Peace is the best time to prepare." A simulation activated briefly to demonstrate their training style. Gravity shifted suddenly, lights went dark, and emergency signals sounded. Human crew members entered quickly, moving through the darkness with confidence. They secured imaginary hull breaches and restored systems within minutes. The alien visitors watched in silence. Nina whispered, "They train for failure, not victory." Ethan heard her and nodded. "Failure happens. Surviving it is what matters." After the demonstration, they returned to quieter corridors. Noah seemed deep in thought. He stopped at another console and pulled up battle records. "Human ships show higher survival rates during long conflicts," he said slowly. "But your technology is not more advanced than ours. How is this possible?" Ethan considered his answer carefully. "We design for adaptability. We assume something will break. Then we build ways to keep going." The idea challenged everything the Velari believed. Their culture valued perfection. They created systems that rarely failed, but when they did, recovery was difficult. As the inspection continued, political messages arrived from the Velari Council. Some leaders grew worried. They believed the human ship might hide dangerous weapons or secret technology. Orders came asking for deeper scans. Lyra felt the pressure. She respected the council but also trusted her own judgment. Nothing she saw suggested hidden hostility. Instead, she felt growing admiration for human resilience. They reached a sealed door marked with simple lettering. Liam hesitated before opening it. "This area is part of our historical archive," he said. "Not restricted, but important." Inside, screens displayed records of past missions. Images showed the Liberty Dawn in different states of damage and repair. One recording showed a battle where half the ship lost power, yet the crew continued fighting using manual controls. Another recording showed rescue operations. The ship had carried refugees after a colony disaster, keeping thousands alive despite heavy damage. Lyra watched quietly. The human crew did not speak proudly about these moments. They treated them as normal duties. "Your ship has endured much," she said softly. Ethan nodded. "Every scar teaches something." Noah noticed a symbol on one screen labeled Last Light. Curiosity filled his voice. "What is this protocol?" Ethan exchanged a glance with Liam before answering. "An emergency system. If everything fails, the ship enters survival mode." He explained that Last Light allowed the Liberty Dawn to operate with minimal resources. Sections could seal off independently. Life support would prioritize crew survival above all else. Even propulsion could continue using backup systems. The alien engineers stared in disbelief. Their own ships had emergency modes, but nothing so extreme. "You expect total system failure?" Nina asked. Ethan gave a small smile. "We expect the unexpected." While they spoke, another team of alien officers scanned weapon systems. They found not only advanced energy cannons, but also older kinetic weapons that required manual loading. "Why keep these?" one alien officer asked. Liam answered simply, "Because they cannot be disabled electronically." The realization spread slowly among the alien team. Human engineering focused less on elegance and more on reliability under worst conditions. Time passed quickly as new discoveries continued. The visitors found small survival kits placed in every corridor. Emergency food supplies were hidden behind panels. Even simple tools were secured in accessible locations. Lyra turned to Ethan. "Your ship feels like it prepares for disaster constantly." Ethan's expression grew serious. "Space is unpredictable. Humans learned through hard lessons. We prepare so we can protect others when things go wrong." Outside the ship, tensions increased. The Velari Council debated whether to claim the Liberty Dawn as a strategic asset. Some leaders feared humans might become too powerful. Messages arrived asking Lyra to evaluate the ship's threat level. She hesitated before responding. She knew the ship was powerful, but she also saw its deeper purpose. As the inspection reached its final phase for the day, the alien team gathered in a quiet observation room. Stars passed slowly beyond the window. Noah broke the silence. "Commander, this vessel challenges our understanding. It is not inefficient. It is resilient." Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, resilience may be their true strength." Ethan joined them holding 2 cups of human drink. He offered one to Lyra politely. "You are beginning to understand us," he said. She accepted the drink, studying the stars. "Perhaps we judged humanity too quickly." Ethan smiled gently. "Many do." Just then, a new alert appeared on the screen. Long-range sensors detected unknown movement at the edge of the system. Several ships approached rapidly, their signals unfamiliar. The room fell silent. Lyra felt tension rise. "Identify those vessels." The answer came quickly. "Unknown fleet, no response to communication." Ethan's calm expression returned. "Looks like your inspection might turn into something more interesting." Lyra watched the incoming signals and realized that whatever came next would test everything they had learned about the Liberty Dawn. And she wondered whether the human ship's true purpose was about to be revealed. The unknown fleet moved closer with steady speed, their signals cold and silent. Inside the Liberty Dawn, the calm atmosphere changed immediately. Lights shifted slightly as the ship entered alert status, but there was no panic among the human crew. Instead, people moved with quiet focus, taking their positions without shouting or rushing. Commander Lyra Voss stood beside Captain Ethan Blake on the bridge, watching the tactical display. Several new shapes appeared on the screen, dark silhouettes against the distant stars. Their design looked sharp and aggressive, unlike any vessel registered in Velari records. "No response to communication," said Nina Brooks from the communications station. "They are ignoring all signals." Ethan folded his arms. "That usually means trouble." The Velari patrol fleet began to reposition around the Liberty Dawn, forming defensive lines. Their advanced ships activated energy shields that shimmered softly. Lyra received a direct transmission from the Velari Council, ordering her to prepare for possible engagement. "Unknown vessels entering controlled space without permission," she reported calmly. "Intent unclear but suspicious." As the unknown fleet closed distance, strange interference began affecting the Velari systems. Screens flickered and some automated weapons shifted offline without warning. Alex Hayes looked worried. "Commander, our targeting systems are unstable. Something is disrupting our signals." Lyra's eyes narrowed. Velari ships relied heavily on centralized automation. If those systems failed, their combat ability would weaken quickly. Ethan turned toward Liam Parker. "Manual systems ready?" Liam nodded. "Already switching backup control paths." Lyra noticed how smoothly the humans adjusted. There was no confusion, only preparation. She remembered their training rooms and constant drills. Now she saw the reason behind it. The unknown fleet moved into attack formation. Without warning, bursts of energy shot across space. The first volley struck a Velari cruiser, damaging its shield grid and forcing it to retreat. "Return fire," Lyra ordered. Velari ships fired back, but many of their automated targeting systems failed again. Energy blasts missed their targets or scattered harmlessly into space. Frustration spread across the alien bridge. Meanwhile, the Liberty Dawn remained steady. Its systems switched to manual mode seamlessly. Human crew members operated consoles with focused precision, adjusting controls by hand. "Manual targeting active," said a human gunner named Jake Harper. "Ready to fire." Ethan glanced at Lyra. "Permission to assist." She hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "Granted." The Liberty Dawn moved forward, its heavy structure turning slowly but with surprising agility. Manual thrusters adjusted its angle while gunners tracked enemy ships without relying on automated calculations. Energy beams fired from the human ship, striking one of the unknown vessels directly. The impact forced the enemy ship to break formation. Lyra watched in disbelief. "Your targeting systems are unaffected." Ethan gave a small smile. "Hard to disrupt something that doesn't depend on a single network." The battle intensified quickly. Enemy ships released waves of interference that continued disabling advanced systems on Velari vessels. Some ships lost communication entirely. Panic began spreading through the alien fleet, but the Liberty Dawn continued fighting steadily. When one weapon system overloaded, another activated immediately. Human repair teams ran through corridors, sealing damage and restoring power within minutes. Noah Carter observed from an engineering station. "They adapt faster than we can predict," he said quietly. Another enemy ship launched a heavy strike that hit the Liberty Dawn's outer hull. The ship shook slightly and warning lights flashed briefly, but the crew reacted instantly. "Section 7 sealed," reported Claire Morgan. "Backup life support active." Ethan remained calm. "Maintain formation, protect the Velari cruisers." The human ship moved between enemy fire and the damaged alien vessels, acting as a shield. Lyra felt a mix of surprise and respect. Humans were risking themselves to protect allies who had doubted them only hours earlier. The unknown fleet attempted new tactics, releasing drones designed to overwhelm defenses. Velari ships struggled to respond because their automated systems remained disrupted. Ethan turned to a pilot named Ryan Cole. "Manual maneuver pattern Delta." Ryan nodded and guided the Liberty Dawn into an unexpected movement. The heavy ship rotated sharply, avoiding incoming fire while lining up a clear shot. Manual control allowed unpredictable actions that confused enemy targeting. Human gunners fired again, destroying several drones quickly. Lyra watched carefully. "Your ship moves like a living creature," Ethan replied simply. "Our crew trusts each other." The battle lasted longer than expected. Enemy ships were powerful, but they struggled against the human vessel's adaptability. Every time they disabled one system, another took its place. Gradually, the Velari fleet began adjusting. Inspired by the humans, some alien pilots switched to manual control where possible. Coordination between species improved as communication channels stabilized through human backup relays. Noah realized something important. "Their philosophy is spreading," he said. "Our crews are learning from them even during battle." Another enemy attack approached, stronger than before. A large warship moved forward, firing heavy energy beams that threatened to break through defenses. Ethan gave a quick order. "All power to forward armor, prepare focus strike." The Liberty Dawn advanced directly toward the enemy flagship. Lyra felt tension rise but said nothing. She trusted the human captain now. Human engineers rerouted power manually, balancing energy through physical switches. The ship glowed briefly as weapons charged. "Fire," Ethan commanded. A concentrated blast struck the enemy flagship, forcing it to retreat slightly. At the same time, Velari ships regained enough stability to support the attack. Combined firepower pushed the unknown fleet back. After several intense minutes, the enemy vessels began withdrawing. Their signals faded as they retreated into deep space. Silence returned slowly. Damaged ships drifted while crews assessed losses. Lyra exhaled slowly, realizing she had been holding her breath. "Enemy retreat confirmed," said Nina, the bridge filled with quiet relief. Human crew members checked systems calmly, already starting repairs. Lyra turned toward Ethan. "Your ship saved us." He shook his head slightly. "We worked together." Outside the window, stars looked peaceful again, but the experience had changed everything. The Velari fleet had witnessed firsthand how human design and mindset worked under pressure. Noah approached Lyra quietly. "Commander, our understanding of warfare may need to change." She nodded slowly. "Yes, perfection failed us today. Adaptability saved us." Ethan watched the alien fleet regroup. He knew that battles revealed truths faster than words ever could. As repair crews continued their work, a new respect formed between humans and aliens. The Liberty Dawn was no longer seen as an outdated relic. It had proven itself as something far more powerful. And deep inside the ship, systems prepared quietly, ready for whatever challenge might come next. The battle was over, but its impact stayed in every mind across the Velari fleet. Damaged ships drifted slowly while repair teams worked without rest. Emergency lights blinked on several cruisers, and long beams of energy connected vessels as they shared power and supplies. The Liberty Dawn floated near the center of the formation. Its hull carried fresh scars from the fight, but it remained steady. Inside, the human crew continued their tasks with calm discipline. Repair teams sealed damaged compartments, Engineers replaced burnt circuits, and medical staff treated minor injuries. No loud celebrations echoed through the corridors. Survival itself was enough. Commander Lyra Voss stood on her bridge, reviewing reports. The Velari fleet had survived, but not without losses. Several ships required long-term repairs. If the humans had not assisted, the outcome might have been very different. She opened a direct channel to Captain Ethan Blake. His image appeared, slightly tired but composed. "Captain Blake," she said quietly, "the Velari Council requests a full debrief. They wish to understand what happened." Ethan nodded. "We are ready to share everything." A joint meeting was arranged aboard the Liberty Dawn. Velari officers traveled again to the human vessel, but this time their expressions were different. Suspicion had been replaced with respect. As they walked through the corridors, they noticed something new. Human crew members were already repairing battle damage using both advanced tools and simple manual equipment. Some panels were open, exposing wiring that was being replaced piece by piece. Noah Carter stopped near a repair team. "Your ship endured heavy impact, yet you restore systems so quickly." Claire Morgan wiped her hands and smiled faintly. "We practice for days like this." The Velari officers reached the central briefing room. It was simple without decoration, but filled with screens displaying battle data. Ethan stood at the front beside Liam Parker. Lyra and her senior officers took their seats. The battle footage began playing. Enemy interference signals were analyzed frame by frame. Velari systems showed rapid shutdown under electronic attack, while the Liberty Dawn maintained operation through isolated circuits and manual pathways. Alex Hayes studied the data closely. "Your systems do not rely on a central intelligence core. That is why disruption failed." Liam nodded. "We learned long ago that advanced systems can be turned against you, so we keep control in human hands when needed." Lyra folded her hands. "Our culture values perfection. We build systems to avoid failure. You build systems expecting failure." Ethan looked thoughtful. "We do not expect failure with fear, we expect it with preparation." The words settled heavily in the room. Noah stepped forward. "During the battle, when our targeting systems collapsed, your crew remained calm. How?" Ethan glanced at the screen showing the training simulations. "Because we train for worst cases every week. We repeat chaos until it feels normal." The Velari officers exchanged quiet looks. Their own training focused on efficiency and quick victory. Long-term survival under system collapse had never been a primary focus. The debrief continued for hours. Every detail was studied, every decision explained. As understanding grew, so did admiration. After the meeting, Lyra requested a private conversation with Ethan on the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly outside the transparent shield. Distant lights from Velari ships blinked as repairs continued. "Captain Blake," she began, "today changed our perspective. We believed your ship was outdated. We were wrong." Ethan smiled softly. "Many species think that when they first see our designs." Lyra turned to face him fully. "The Council now wishes to strengthen cooperation with humanity. They see value not only in your technology, but in your philosophy." Ethan remained silent for a moment. "Cooperation must be built on trust." "And trust was earned today," Lyra replied. News of the battle spread quickly across Velari space. Reports described how the human warship stood firm while advanced vessels faltered. Some leaders felt embarrassment, but many felt inspiration. Within days, Velari engineers requested access to study certain human design principles. Noah and his team began working directly with Claire and Alex. Discussions filled engineering bays, where ideas were exchanged openly. The Velari began experimenting with independent subsystems. Manual override stations were added to some ships. Training schedules expanded to include survival drills under simulated system collapse. The Liberty Dawn became more than a visiting warship. It became a symbol of endurance. One evening, Lyra walked alone through one of the human corridors. She noticed small details she had ignored before: handrails placed at regular intervals, emergency kits hidden behind simple panels, mechanical switches beside digital controls. She realized these were not signs of old thinking, they were signs of experience. She found Ethan near the bridge, reviewing repair reports. "You will depart soon?" she asked. "Yes," he replied. "Silent patrol continues." "After what happened, you still travel alone?" Ethan nodded. "We prefer quiet watchfulness. Danger does not always announce itself." Lyra gave a small smile. Perhaps our fleets should learn that as well. Outside, the Velari ships had almost completed their repairs. Formation lights glowed steadily once more. A farewell ceremony was arranged, simple but meaningful. Velari officers stood in a row as the Liberty Dawn prepared to leave. No grand speeches were given. Respect was shown through calm acknowledgement. Lyra stepped forward and addressed the human captain. The Velari Union recognizes the courage and resilience of the Liberty Dawn. Your actions preserved our fleet. We are grateful, Ethan responded with equal sincerity. We fight best when we stand together. As the ceremony ended, docking clamps released. The Liberty Dawn's engines ignited softly, not with loud power but with steady confidence. The massive ship moved slowly away from the Velari fleet. Its scarred hull reflected distant starlight. To those watching, it no longer looked outdated or worn. It looked proven. Noah stood beside Lyra, observing the departure. "Commander," he said quietly, "what shocked us was not their weapons or armor." Lyra nodded. "It was their mindset." The Liberty Dawn turned gently and began its journey back into deep space. Silence followed its path. Inside the human ship, crew members returned to routine duties. Training schedules were updated. Repairs were logged. No one spoke of glory. They spoke of readiness. Ethan stood on the bridge, watching stars stretch before them. Liam approached with updated patrol coordinates. "Next sector is quiet," Liam said. Ethan smiled slightly. "Quiet can change quickly." The Liberty Dawn continued forward, prepared as always. Far behind them, the Velari Union began redesigning its future. New ships would include independent systems. Training would include unpredictability. Philosophy would shift from perfection alone to resilience as well. And in the memory of every Velari officer who witnessed that battle, one truth remained clear. The aliens had examined a human warship expecting to find outdated machinery. What they discovered instead was endurance, preparation, and a quiet strength that refused to break. And that discovery changed everything.